This is line 3, and this will be Gordon. Gordon?
Hi.
Thanks for hanging on, Gordon. What do you want to tell us?
Wrong end of the ground, Danny.
Go on in.
And a nightmare. It was a local derby, Dundee versus Dundee United.
Oh, yeah?
I support United, right?
Yep.
And I was skint, so I was having a problem getting to the game.
Yeah.
But Dundee ran a system where, that's the opposition, UB40s and students could get in cheap.
Oh, yeah?
So I thought, well, that's fine. I'll go in the wrong end.
Yeah.
And I'll see the game, because I want to see the game. So anyway, it's coming up to half-time, and I'm sitting at the end of the row, and this guy in a duffel coat, a lonely sort of chap, befriends me.
Mm.
He's a Dundee supporter, obviously, because that's the end.
Yeah.
We're winning 3-1, and he's saying, what a night, these swines, and I'm going, yeah, but laughing secretly inside. But they score 3-2.
Oh,
He's going, we're going to beat these. I'm saying, yeah, good, still happy.
Now, listen, just before we carry on, I know you said you were skint, but in order to get the extra value of the UB40, you were actually talking bad about your own side? You were denying your own side in order to get...
absolutely, yeah. Right.
All right, so it's 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
So, well, you can guess what happens. 3-all, and he's going crazy, and he's saying, yeah, we've got them. And I'm going, yeah. The final score was 4-3.
To them?
Them.
Now, did you have to celebrate with him?
Well, he's dancing up and down the blinking aisle with me. This fella in a duffel.
Who you describe as a lonely fellow.
Yeah.
With you? You were dancing with him?
Well, what could I do?
Well,
He grabbed me and he's...
There is a time and a place to feign the heart attack. You don't want to tempt fate, but feign a heart attack. Go down like a ton of
I've
spuds.
never heard of anyone having to celebrate their bitter rival's goal
with dancing
to save a couple of quid. And you actually did lose it, huh?
Worst day of my life. And I've got one other story to Danny.
I'm sure you've got relatives who are, ancestors spinning in their graves. You may be on film, and friends of yours say,
I'm ashamed.
I'm sure. What's the other thing?
One other story about a big mouth and repartee. You know these guys are always shouting and telling, mouthing away at games.
Yeah.
Well, this fellow standing there, and every free kick we got, he would shout at the top of his voice, hard and low. And so, towards the end of the game, we got this free kick. And right back, it's a few years back now, Tommy Nielsen floated this soft and high ball to the far post.
Yeah.
And Jim Irvin rose like a bird and nodded it into the iron bag. And goal! Everybody's up cheering like mad. But of course, as soon as they stop celebrating, everybody turns as one and stares hard at the boy who's sitting hard and low. And we're all wondering what he's going to say. And his face goes red as a beetroot. His neck disappears into his shoulders. And he just says, I still say hard and low.
Of course, he's stuck by the principle of the thing.
I still say hard and low. No, because I've got the fellow who shouts at Arasum. I just want to, if we can here, get a little oral picture going on how a game might be should we ever meet in football. In Europe. So at one end, you keep saying hard and low, and I'll play the other fella. Go on.
Okay. Hard and low.
Thank you very much indeed. That's a little maison scene that may come to a cinema.
It was a lovely thing.
It was. If anyone else has unidentified phrases that people around you shout, I think we've got a CD going in. We now have hard and low. We've got... Hello? Yeah, it wasn't me. Hard and low, Harrison, and then we'll collect all the others together. We're still doing coloured goalposts. The highest penalty shootout seems to be 21-20, but if you've ever... Tell us your own stories about taking penalties. We certainly want that. And other stuff. Dan, go on.
All right, now, I think... Is the music ready? You have to be the judge now.
Oh, yes. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Everyone knows Trevor Steele, our own comedian, sends us great jokes about football. Now a man called Martin from Redhill has decided he can take him on. I'm going to read 4 jokes, Danny. The first 2 you'll pick which you prefer from the 2. I won't tell you who they're by. And then we'll pick the other 2. Here we go. Okay, the first joke. Where does a match between 2 teams of fetuses kick off?
I don't know.
In the placenta circle.
Okay, I think I recognise the hand of the master in that. I don't know, but hang on.
Kenny Dalglish has booked a break in the Tyrol to go rock collecting. Why? Because Newcastle need all the Alp they can get.
That's the master.
Which one are you choosing?
I'm choosing that part 2.
Okay, good. Now, let me shuffle up my paper some more.
All right.
I'll come up with this joke. Did you hear that Tony Adams has been taken to hospital following a brawl? Doctors have issued a statement saying that Mr. Adams is in a stable.
Okay, next one.
What do you call a Southampton player with a salad on the side of his head? Matthew Letizia. Which one of those two jokes would you prefer? You've got Mr. Adams here.
The first one.
Incredibly, Trevor Steele's plays himself in the final. Yeah. They're both Trevor Steele's jokes.
You know why? Because one can see the structure of a Trevor Steele original. Because Trevor Steele would say, of course. Oh, no, come on, seriously. I mean, if this was Antiques Roadshow, I'd like to say, now, how much did you pay for the other two jokes, Danny? And you tell me...
200 quid.
200 quid. Very common at the time. When Trevor Steele, when he was working, a lot of people did, and even though they signed them Trevor Steele, you could recognise Trevor Steele because he usually began in the first 5 words with the name of a footballer. Did you hear was a good thing, because the archaic use of did you hear to begin a joke was Trevor was the only person in the late 20th century still saying did you hear, and also starting with Kenny Dalglish went into the Met. You think, well, this is obviously Trevor.
And your reward for picking the two, I've saved the best Trevor Steele joke till last.
Okay.
Music maestro, please.
All right, no, hang on. I'll say, let's do these adverts and then we'll come back to this because we've got to build it. Let's go on.
Danny Baker and the news of the world. The South Sea for football.
Okay, we're back amongst the final of the... We'll be right back to the calls any second now. 0500 753 89. But I could recognise... That's why, of course, I don't recognise Trevor Steele's work.
Right.
And now we have...
First of all, this is Trevor Steele's Joke Du Week. Okay. I should make a point that Trevor starts this letter with the words, sorry, not more pie.
Okay.
However, 2 other people have sent in more pie, so that's good. At a recent charity dinner, Jeff Astle, for it is he, got the shock of his life. He was about to devour his pudding when it leapt off the end of the table. It was a lemming meringue pie.
That is almost vintage, because it is so weak. It is so weak.
Yeah. There are people...
It doesn't even concern football, so it doesn't work in that way.
That is a joke in an oxygen tent, isn't it?
That is the weakest, and I've got to say, please stop sending in jokes to rival Trevor, because that's why Black Sabbath play behind him. Come to the Sabbath, Trevor's there. He is the cloven hoof.
I say, Martin from Redhill, keep trying. We'll try again.
You're never going to get around that. And he hasn't sent any more pie.
No, but other people have found more pie.
Right, so you see, all he's done there is take a lemming meringue pun and attach Jeff Astle to it. And only Trevor would dare to try, to lower the stakes. He's lowered them. Very, very, very poor. Here's Steve. Steve! Hello, Steve. What do you want to tell us?
New subject, Dan.
Go on.
Well, I used to run a football team for the post office.
Yeah.
And we turned up, and there was no ref.
Okay.
So, one of the other team suggested, well, I'll be ref.
That's how it happens. That's what usually happens, yeah?
But we had no whistle.
Right.
So we thought, what are we going to do? So we got into the bar, and we said to the bloke behind the bar, you ain't got a spare whistle, have you? And he said, no. So we ended up using a metal tray and a spoon.
Oh, my giddy arms.
That is superb.
That's it.
That is
mule train.
A metal tray and a spoon. Well, if we can't get that together before the end of the show, there's got to be. Tim knows the kitchen better than anyone. Tim, is there no kind of metal tray and a spoon out there? I want to find out how this sounds. Just a metal tray, I'll provide the spoon. Man alive. That's a great one. And the game was fully played with a metal tray and a spoon?
There was a...
Fantastic. See, I think
everything.
All this trouble at Barnsley today, nobody would attack a referee who's got a metal tray and
if he would pull out of his pocket opal fruit wrappers, then I think...
Then, you see, you're taking... Yeah, then it extracts the sting of the authority. All right, we're going to work that out. We're going to thank you very much for bringing that to us. Referee, metal tray, spoon.
All right. As referees are always be found mincing around on the pitch wearing tight shorts, the ladies understand these things, I feel that it would be appropriate for the brandishing of cards to be changed to a winking method. Refs should be forced to put an eyeshadow pre-match. Let me finish. One red and one yellow tone on each eyelid before start a match. When a player is booked, the ref would call him over and take out his little black book. He would then ask for the player's number. Wolf whistles from the crowd, she says.
Yes, of course.
The ref would then face the player, close up by Sky cameras, and give a wink, a brief dismissive yet flirtatious yellow, or a full-on hello sailor red.
Very well written.
This serves 3 purposes, says our friend Catherine from Chelmsford. A, the mere humiliation of refs would prevent overbooking, and links between refs and players and tabloid press would make players think before jumping in.
A full hello sailor for a sending off, that's beautifully put.
B,
Yeah.
B, to the amusement of the crowd, this would make fun family viewing and give rise to harmless chance of who's the winker in the black.
Yes, of course. I thought we might have that parallel made somewhere.
And C, the mirth created by the antics of a referee desperately running around the pitch, winking at a player who has walked away from being booked. We're winking very fast at him.
You're doing a very good accent. Excuse me, come here. Can't you see what I'm doing?
And that's me bad eye, you know.
Yeah, but, you know, the confusion of getting a smut in the eye, of course, there is that. I love those calls about playing for entirely the wrong sides. We used to. I mean, might as well open the doors again while it's naturally come up. Have you ever been taken for a grander side than you were?
You always liked the fact that I went to Spain with literally a Hackney Marsh Sunday morning team that I ran. Somewhere along the line, lines had been crossed. We got to Spain. It was the middle of the evening. We were already drunk, and then bloke came to the hotel and said, "The game is tonight." We said, "It's dark. Don't worry about that." Big coach. Get down to the ground. There's about 1,000 paying customers, perhaps 600-700 paying customers.
Bad enough, isn't it?
Floodlights.
Oh, floodlights, that's intimidating.
We run out in our England kit, which we wore, and they run out in tracksuits and warm up. The captain strolls up to the centre circle, and our captain, a bloke called Malcolm, wanders up to the centre circle to bandy legs, wanders up to the centre circle. The bloke pulls out a big pennant. Oh, Malcolm, thanks very much. Thanks. Nothing to give him, of course. We scored. We shared 11.
You should have took one of his socks off and give it to him.
We shared 11. One of our players, a bloke called John Brennan, had been stung by a mosquito as soon as he got to Spain. His eye was completely closed and he was playing in sunglasses.
They thought you were some kind of professional English side.
Professional team, yeah.
Wow.
We shared 11.
When you say you shared 11, they took how many of the 11?
10.
All right, let's hear about...
It was a shocker. It was a shocker.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Joanne online? What line is it? 9-6. There we go. Joanne?
Hi, Danny.
We've got to keep meeting like this. Joanne.
Hi, Danny.
How the H are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Danny.
Now, last we spoke to you, you had a somewhat dangerous liaison with a Premier League player in the back alleyways of... Not alleyways, that's too cruel.
No, it was in one of the offices.
It was in one of the offices. Let's give some glamour to this. It's in one of the offices of the club where you now reside or have access to.
Yeah.
How's your week? What's the matter? How's your week been?
Well, it's very complicated now, Danny.
Go on. You see, I haven't got Danny Kelly here, neither.
I know.
Who lets me know who you're talking about afterwards. Anyway, go on.
Well, a second player's been in touch with me.
A second?
Yeah.
All from the original source call to here saying, you know, I remember when I was at this club and barmaid, yeah?
Yeah, I got a bunch of flowers delivered with a note that said, "What about me?"
Wow. So last week, just to recap for any new listeners we may have today, last week when you rang in and said one of the original beaux of yours from this other Premier League club, he said, "I heard you on the radio." And now I think he's rung his pal up and said, "Aye, Joanne's back on the scene, and you've got some flowers."
I got some flowers, yeah.
Now, what course of action did you take, Joanne?
Well, I've spoken to him, the second one, and, well, he's actually invited me to the match he's playing in today.
Oh, yeah. And then I've just been handed a piece of paper with a name on it. Nobody say nothing. Yeah, go on.
And, well, his team is playing the team of the other one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So your two bows are faging and your two most recent conquests are shaping up today?
They are.
Where is your heart going to lie, with bow one or the most...
I don't know what I'm going to do this afternoon. I am going down there. Me and the second one haven't actually got together yet.
Now, here's the thing, Joanne. And bearing in mind this is the morning show, which doesn't get as racy as the evening show. Can we call you this evening, by the way?
Well, I will ring you back and let you know what's happened if I'm still alive.
See, I'm worried now. Because it's Joanne, who's a great gal. Not just in a loaded magazine sense. Plainly, she's a very good correspondent of ours. And I'm worried that you're going to end up with two footballers on your hands today.
Oh, that would be...
Oh, hang on,
that would be a shame. That would be a real shame.
Oh, you'd like Laurie, I think. Now, this must have crossed your mind. You could end up here...
Yeah.
Not having to choose.
It has crossed my mind, yeah.
Well?
I honestly
would you be prepared to open that dread door?
Possibly.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, later on this evening, when we come back at 5:30, we will continue the adventures of Tom Jones.
I'll go with her, and I can have the one she doesn't want.
I don't think she's looking for that kind of... I think she's quite happy with the arrangements as they are. No, really? Why have I been handed a note, Joanne, saying ask about Wednesday?
Yeah, well, we got together again, me and the first one. This is getting complicated.
Yes, it is, but don't matter, I think we're on the edge of our seats.
We went back to the club, because he's got a real thing about being in the club late at night. He has, yeah.
You don't mind that? Don't you feel it's a little bit...
No, I don't mind.
No, it's the whole thing about going to your office after hours, isn't it, when it's dark.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, it's very odd.
See,
I used to work in a record shop.
Not once have I ever wanted to come on the air, so to speak.
Oh, no, I used to work in a record shop in Florida, and that was the best thing, going there after hours and turning the lights on and...
Going back to your place of work?
It's fab.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really eerie feeling.
I don't know, I suppose so. We'll be another type of show.
Depends what you're doing.
I know, I'm not coy about it, but I'm saying, all right, we're coming straight to you, Joanne. If you were, do you think park keepers then go to jump over their own gates?
Probably not.
I think they probably do.
No. Oh, I don't
Everyone
know.
else does. So you got that going on. If you were a swimming pool attendant, I suppose
Oh, yeah.
so. Yeah?
That would be fantastic, going into the pool at night when it was closed and everything was quiet.
So Joanne, this is not uncommon, you feel, that you want to go back to the, you know...
No, well, he's told me that other players take their other in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See,
so it could get crowded, really.
This is, and we'll do our grand old category again. Not necessarily, but please not in a sexual sense. But I've been in a football ground when it's been closed. We'll do that. If you've ever found yourself in a ground when it was shut, 0500 1053 89. So that was Wednesday, was it?
Yeah, and do you remember Danny Kelly suggested the manager's office?
Did he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, did he?
And we did try that actually, but it was locked.
Did it?
And Jamie suggested the players...
Oh, I'm sure Jamie... No, this is getting to be a nest of vipers. Jamie, who answers the phones here, who people may have seen on TFI Friday a lot, is most famous on this programme for when we... Remember, this is a hard-hitting sports programme. Remember that. And we passed Jamie once, and this is exactly what we heard. And everyone can back us up in this. We walked past Jamie once because we thought, everyone else answering the phone out there seems to, deliver 6 of these pieces of paper to Jamie's 1. So we passed Jamie on the phones out there, and this, honestly, it couldn't be made up. It's too good. This is exactly what we heard. Really? Well, you don't sound like a blonde. Is somebody working hard to bring, straining every nerve to bring us the latest and greatest football analysis? I don't think so. All right, so I wanted to... We're coming straight back to the calls. I know we bark them up and then seem to ignore them, but we get the mail, and the mail is always good. So, Dan, what is that thing? Don't end the correspondence. What is this prison thing?
I've got several top prison things. Let's do the one that I'm not sure I want. All right. Last week we said, do you play in a prison football team?
Yeah. Okay.
This is another piece of paper that's come with the special lines on it and a stamp. This time the stamp says HM Young Offenders Institution, Aylesbury, Buck.
I suppose there is free access to pens and paper in prison because, reading about dear old Oscar Wilde in the week, you have to wait a year and a half. And this is Oscar Wilde, by the way, who probably would have had something to write. Yeah. Not you horrible Millwall bastard.
Which is coming out big time.
I'm sure it is, yeah. But even so, Oscar Wilde has said to write. Couldn't get it for 18 months. Now, free access these days.
Of course, because no detail of prison life is too small for us not to love it to death.
Yeah.
Here we go. At the top of it is a piece of printed advice to the person writing the letter. When writing to members of Parliament, please give your previous home address in order to avoid delay in your case being taken up by the MP.
Oh, so very nice.
Very thoughtful. All right. Go on. This is a letter from Graham Blount. Needless to say, Graham, I won't tell you what you finished the letter with.
Got him.
I'm going to read it verbatim. I'll make no spin on it.
Okay.
You asked about prison football team. I assume this is how he talks. You asked about prison football team.
I'm sure he does. It's like Sideshow Bob. They all speak very well.
Well,
the two blokes I know went and Nick both spoke very, very well. Anyway.
I am in a prison team at Aylesbury Prison. There are 4 murderers, 3 nonces.
No, you shouldn't play with nonces. Nobody passes to the nonces, do they? That's not that. See, I understand that a nonce is a nonce is a nonce. And seriously,
see, football transcends all barriers.
No, I'm sorry.
Pele told me that. Pele told me that.
I suppose actually it's all right for me to talk from this distance. But if you've got a great player and you say, "What's he in for?" The nonce. Oh, no, we'll pick him and make out we didn't know.
I am in a prison team at Aylesbury Prison. There are 4 murderers, 3 nonces, and 1 armed robber. 2 normal robbers. 1 armed robber.
Oh, the 1 armed robber is the 1 armed robber.
Yeah.
Okay, not
1 armed robber.
Yep.
2 normal robbers, and me, who's in for GBH.
Okay.
And the coach is a puff. He says here. So that's...
You can't be jailed. I'm speaking about dear old Wasp.
No, Oscar Wilde was...
You simply cannot be jailed for being
homosexual. No, you can't.
No, and I'm sorry. I'm just obviously talking in quotation marks here.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
I mean,
so
nobody
wait.
says the court has found you guilty of being a puff. That's you know, not for 100 years now.
I want you to
quite right. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Quite right.
Absolutely.
You
I
can't
want
go
you
to
to-
jail for being a puff.
I want you to take on board the level emotional playing field of this record. I'm in Aylesbury prison. There are 4 murderers, 3 nonces, and 1 armed robber, 2 normal robbers, and me who's in for GBH, and the coach is a puff. So that's the Aylesbury Young Offenders football team.
Professional or not, that is not the only coach who is. If we were at Liberty now, I know.
We are at Liberty, Dan.
No, we aren't.
He's not. We
I know
are.
15. 15! As I'm often asked in the backs of the cabs, come on, Dan, who is and who ain't? And if you, I mean... Well, yeah, don't say it, because we all know that, but, I'm saying...
our friend Graham Blount, he knows his stuff. He doesn't have a great story, but he does know how to write.
Well, Graham, you're already good.
So I'm not going to read that sentence again. In fact, I am going to read it again. I'm in prison at Aylesbury prison. There are 4 murderers, 3 nonces, and 1 armed robber, 2 normal robbers, and me who's in for GBH, and the coach is a puff.
Yeah, go on, okay.
So that's the Aylesbury Young Offender football team.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever get a chance, come down and watch us play.
Okay.
We haven't lost for 9 months.
No.
We haven't lost for 9 months.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm off to have a shower. See you later. Oh yeah, I broke some bloke's ankle last week when we played B-Wing. And the good thing is, I can go around breaking people's legs, and that without getting nicked for it. It's all good fun in the long run.
No, what, he does this intentionally during games?
He's got a little drawing of himself, jumping on someone's leg, saying, that should liven him up.
That is not a little drawing. I'm sorry, Graham, as much as you've amused us here, your talent lies in descriptive, of other... You can't draw. That is not a good drawing.
I'm going to show you a bit, but at the bottom it says, P.S., I support Millwall.
Oh, no!
Yeah, of course it does.
I believe me, until I arrived at Talk, and then over the last couple of weeks, Millwall got more mentions than ever. Only since we started doing the Prison Mail, and I'm as shocked as anyone. That is the worst drawing I've ever seen.
It is. Is it more sexual than football?
It does. It looks like he might be with the coach there, grappling.
Now, hang on. Now, Danny, I want you to sit down.
Which I've heard, Graham, seriously. I don't want to put it about Graham, but you and the coach, that's how I understand you know.
To show that this show can, in fact, in the David Mellor style way, move mountains for football fans. Our 2 friends... Hang on,
sorry, Dad, I know I'm interrupting again. Mellor with this letter.
Dear 606, I'm in Aylesbury prison, and
very sorry to hear that,
my team comprises of 4 murders, 3 nonces, 1 armed robber, 2 normal robbers, and me who's in for GBH. He goes on to say that the coach is a puff. And it says here that... But of course, that's his point of view, and he's welcome to it. Hello, soccer nuts.
And I was saying to the chairman of Leeds United only the other day over lunch that the coach is a puff.
Go on, what was you going to say?
Now, you know our friends Charlie Boy and his mate who are inside.
Charlie Boy.
They're in
by the way, this is a phone-in show. By all means, call us. Yeah.
They're in which prison? Wandsworth prison, aren't they?
Yeah, Wandsworth.
In South London, and they're in dire danger of losing their lives unless they get some contact to prove that they are personal friends of Les Ferdinand and David Gindler.
That's right. If you want to go again, just run along with Dan said, if you've not been with us, Charlie Boy. Well, go on, Dave. Tell him exactly.
Charlie Boy is in prison with a lot of hard-nut Millwall fans, as it turns out. When
everything's true.
When in the summer, Spurs, he's a Spurs fan, and so is his other mate, whose name I can't remember just for a moment. When in the summer Spurs bought Gindler and Ferdinand, they decided, because they got a lot of time on their hands and not much money, that they would cut the pictures of Les and David Gindler and their heads and to stick them onto the bodies of existing Spurs players.
Yes, it looked like they were playing for Spurs. Yeah.
Great. Then they sent them to Spurs using only 1 stamp, because the stamp was a lot of money in prison.
Yeah.
And then they started enlarging around. That was okay up to them. But they started enlarging around the wing, saying, "Oh yeah, we've written to Les.
Yeah.
We're going to get personal reply now.
Nothing.
He's our mate.
Nothing.
And they start bet you anything. Bet you a Mars bar. Bet you 30 pence. Of course, 20 bets later, the leg breakers are already sharpening up whatever piece of metal they're going to use.
Hey, Chiv. Where's your tool? As they say in Scotland.
Yes,
where's your tool?
And so now they're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Gentlemen in Wandsworth prison, put down the chiv for a second and listen to this.
Hi, Teddy and Charlie Boy. It's Les Ferdinand here. Just wishing you all the best. Hope you're coming out soon. Keep supporting. Take care.
Wow, that's what Bacon Kelly United can do for you, my friend.
That's what you can do. I knew nothing about that. That is wonderful.
I was with Les, as they say on Wednesday.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
And he recorded that for us?
One more time, please.
Come on, please, yeah.
Hi, Teddy and Charlie Boy. It's Les Ferdinand here. Just wishing you all the best. Hope you're coming out soon. Keep supporting. Take care.
Cool, that is wonderful. That's warmed the old cockles.
Yeah, there you go.
Hot cockles, and now I've got them.
That correspondence is closed, but we need a lot more stuff from prison.
Main road for my sins on Wednesday night.
Oh, man. Stoke, when it's Stoke.
Yeah, at half-time. Would a Mr. John Prick go to the nearest steward?
No, hang on, because what we've got to nail down here is, because this is one of the words that can also make people jump out of their seats. Do we think this was a real call, or do we think this was somebody...
Prothero.
There was what?
Gladys Prothero type call,
Oh, you think it was a Gladys Prothero call? You don't think there is a Mr. John Prick?
Well, I don't know. You never know,
Are there any pricks in Manchester?
Yeah, Old Trafford, yeah.
Oh, now. I'm trying to play this one with a straight bat. I've faded him down because he's obviously can see only one connotation to it. I mean, on the other side of the coin, if we're living in an open, all-outdoors, non-sexist age, I believe Tottenham had a player called Pratt, didn't they?
They did for a very long time.
For every Pratt, I'm thinking there must be.
Who was cleaning the windows in my office less than a month ago.
He's a window cleaner.
He runs a window cleaning firm.
Now, see, he grew up, and it's a noble name. I'm sure there's a lot of people that say, I hope we're not going to get into the Pratt team, because, we've just got over it now.
No.
And slang is transient. Yeah. And if I were a member of the Manchester Pricks, I would not change my name because modern slang has suddenly said, well, that's low for penis. I'm sorry, I can fully believe that sitting in Main Road, it's unfortunate attention was dragged to it, and I don't want to dwell on the Manchester Prick at all. But if he's there, then I understand it's a noble name and may go back many, many hundreds of years. And what I'm saying is, hats off. Don't cover your prick up with a hat. It's 5:45. Okay. I held that together rather well until then.
Nobody would have said to John Pratt. They would have gone and said, "You're a Pratt," would they? They wouldn't have said that.
See him over there.
Yeah. He's a...
This could happen. Now, before you all get offended, so look, I'm sorry, but childish giggling. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another angle. Yeah, go on. It's David. Hello, David. David. Oh, his name is...
No, that's Mr. Pratt. He's gone.
I think that might have actually been Mr. Prick. I'm sorry, but...
I have been a prick for 35 years. I've never been so outraged.
I'm afraid his name is obviously Pussy. Sorry, go on. This is line 2, and this will be Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hi there, Danny.
Hello, Chris. What do you want to tell us?
Well, it's under your category about interfering with play.
You interfered with play, did you? But not in a direct manner.
Not myself, actually.
Go on, then.
It's a story that was told to my father by Peter Dobing, the ex-captain of Stoke City.
Peter Dobing, excellent.
You'll be saying Alan Bloor next.
Yeah, that's a belter. You're going Peter Dobing.
It concerns the 1972 FA Cup semi-final replay at Goodison Park.
Oh, yeah.
Arsenal beat Stoke by a single goal, which Charlie George scored.
I think that was the last major game played at Goodison Park, wasn't it? Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Will be for a while.
Yeah. So, go on.
Well, the goal, when you looked at it on the television, and particularly around Stoke for a long time, Charlie George was being given a middle name of Charlie Offside George.
All right, okay.
Pretty clearly a mile offside.
Yeah,
and Stoke were gutted. Now, Peter Dobing... The Stoke captain told my dad that what happened after the game was that the ref actually came and apologised to Stoke. Stoke had been playing in their away kit at the game, which was all white at the time, and Charlie George had actually been played onside by a hot dog vendor in a white coat.
Too good. I was about to say...
Are you the mystery hot dog vendor?
Now, where do you... on what source... Come on. Do you have this story?
Well, my dad was on his sports dinner sort of thing, and he was introduced to Peter Dobing.
And Peter Dobing himself told him this story?
Yeah.
We see, I'm willing to believe it. I'm willing to believe it. I'm willing to believe it, but I know that the only semi-final my team ever pitched up at, pretty much apart from wartime ones, was when we played Sunderland at Sheffield Wednesday, and still grandfather speak of walking all the way there to Hillsborough to see this game, and we lost it because the referee was drunk. That's it. You have to say that as one sentence. Everyone appreciates it, but you've got to say we lost it because the referee was drunk. Now, isn't it likely that Stoke supporters lost it because the hot dog vendor's jacket is in a similar... I mean, do you believe it?
Huh? They used to dress in all white, remember, when they used to carry the tray around.
Would a hot dog vendor be down on pitch side?
Yeah, they were. They used to... Don't you remember? They used to come along the side of the touchline.
Really? No. No, I know at Everton the toffee people come around because the terrible. I mean, I think the last game they did that, whether they still do it or not, they used to have the girls and the boys come around throwing toffees into the crowd.
Dressed in his kind of Wardian clothing.
We're talking about the early 70s.
Oh no, I'm just when we went, and the toffees, of course, were liberally thrown into the Millwall end, and they liberally came back again, seeing a hasty retreat of all the toffee vendors running away. Nevertheless, I don't remember hot dog vendors going around the outside of the ground.
I used to have two friends who used to be hot dog vendors that used to walk along the side.
He's upping the hot dog vendor ante.
He is. He's talking a good hot dog fight here. Well, I
don't remember them either.
No, I'm just going to say, because it's such a great story, and I'd like to believe it, but I'm afraid we're going to play the All the President's Men card here. It's the Washington Post. We need another source. The story is dry. The story is dry. You're going to have to go to an underground car park. And if anyone else has heard that Stoke went out of the cup because the referee confused the Stoke back three with a hot dog vendor, then
or we can take circumstantial or forensic evidence if you either remember hot dog people around the edge of the pitch or any other vendors. Or if you were one.
Yeah.
I only remember the man with a big sack of monkey nuts going through the terracing, yeah?
What?
Percy Dalton.
Percy Dalton, First Division peanuts.
And of course,
First Division peanuts.
Percy was represented by a peanut.
A big peanut. No, he did wear a top hat.
And a monocle.
And a monocle and rested on his stick.
Yeah, he did.
And he wore spats, even though notoriously peanuts do not have legs.
No, he's a toff.
This is line 1, and this will be our friend Mike. Mike, hello, good evening, thanks for calling Talk Radio. Mike, you're on the air.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Mike.
Listen, your first caller should think himself lucky. At least he could see where he was going.
What were we talking about? Would he...
Having things removed.
I see, I'm sorry. This will be Mike, then.
Yeah.
Attention, Tony Blair.
Attention, everyone. This is a call. Now, Mike, if we were only told the bare bones of this, it's over to you.
It's going back to sort of the late 70s when there was a lot of problems at football.
Mm-hmm.
It's no excuse.
I'm blind.
Yeah, I know.
Going to the ground, I'd got my white stick.
Which ground?
This was at Mansfield.
Okay.
To make things easier going through the turnstiles and so you don't get in a mess and everything, I had one of the type of white sticks that collapses into 4 pieces.
I've seen it.
So I folded that up and put it in my pocket. Went through the turnstile, paid me money over, just got through the gate. I hadn't got time to get my stick out or anything. I was pulled to one side, stood up against the wall, and this young police officer proceeded to frisk me.
Right.
And of course he found the stick then in my jacket pocket.
He found a blind person's white stick in his pocket. I'm just underlining this, yes?
Yes. Removed it from my pocket and says, right, what's this?
Oh, this is so
bad. It was some kind of lethal weapon.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So before I'd got time to explain, an inspector obviously realised what was happening, and he did come over and save the day and get the young officer a real.
But we can say that at Mansfield they removed the white stick from a blind man.
Yes.
In effect, that is true.
It's true, yeah.
Man alive, but that is the most sensational thing I've ever heard. Although, pies, yes. Eye solution, yes, like you say, that's a very small beer. But they took the white stick from a blind man.
Well, to be fair, Mike, I want to ask you something. I'm glad Mike is laughing, but to be fair, there is an outside chance. This is two ordinary blokes. You see a blind man folding up a stick and we could have a laugh here, couldn't we?
No, I just think the genuine fella thought, he's got... I don't think he cared. Bung someone through, Carol, if anyone wants to... Here's line 1, and here's Wayne. Hello, Wayne. Thanks for joining us and being the second caller. Some say picked. What do you want to tell us, Wayne?
Most dangerous animal in the zoo, Danny.
According to 1,000 zookeepers, what is the most famous dangerous animal in the zoo?
Well, I reckon it's a full-grown male chimp.
Everybody here went for chimp.
That was my guess.
I didn't, but everyone else did.
Why did you go for the chimpanzee there?
Well, I've had dealings with animals off and on.
I was going to say that. Have you had a bitter experience with a chimpanzee that makes you suck a thoughtful tooth at the very mention of them? What happened?
No. I mean, no.
Oh, you see...
No, attacked by a chimpanzee.
Exactly, yeah. He's back again. He's on line 1 again.
Wayne.
I'll tell that story in a minute. Wayne.
Danny, I'm in a phone box, mate. I think they thought I'd been on it long enough or something.
Okay, go on.
No, I mean, I've had dealings with animals on and off, like sort of exotic animals, I suppose you'd call them.
Yeah.
Because I used to buy and sell reptiles and spiders and all that.
Yeah. Why? Why did you buy and sell reptiles and spiders?
Well, back in the early 80s, it sort of took off, didn't it? Everybody wanted a reptile of some sort. Like
Wayne, we're simply not interested in taking this further, but did you bring any in by the back door?
Well, I think most of them are brought in by the back door.
Are they really? Now, when you say back door, what kind of packaging are we talking about? Are there really false heels on Cuban shoes or books hollowed out? How do they get in?
We used to get a lot of
stuff from Africa, and it basically used to just come in sacks. You never knew what was in it until you tipped the sack out.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, wow.
You never knew what was in it until you tipped the sack out?
Yeah, a lot of them was like that, yeah. But that's why they sort of brought out all these rules and regulations, because we ended up with more stuff over here than they had over there.
Wait a minute, Wayne, 1 second. Carolyn? They're looking to build this show in newspapers. Could you put Danny Baker and Danny Kelly, Saturday mornings, you never know what's in it until you tip the sack out. Could you put that? That's our strapline from now on. Now, here's something. I don't know what this is.
No, this is a wild one for you. This came from Paul Goldbrum from Exeter College. More prison-like than prison, he says, so please read my letter.
All right.
Good. And he has sent me 2 photographs which he found while waiting in the doctor's reception down there in Exeter. 2 photographs.
In a doctor's reception?
In a doctor's reception. He's taken them out of a magazine.
Just before you did it then, because I'm sorry I did it.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever seen footballers in doctors' waiting rooms, or do they all have private physios? Have you ever... Only one, I'll see if we can do this. Ever seen a footballer in a waiting room? Doctor's waiting room?
I don't mind you interrupting this, Danny, because I know what I've got at the end of it is worth. You can interrupt all your life,
I can't hold it, can I? No, go on.
No, you can't. The first picture that he sent us here is clearly a woman. She has a big backside, like women sometimes have, if they're lucky.
As opposed to being you, then.
Yeah. No, well, I consider it a mark of luck to have a big backside. And there's a side-on picture of her. And she's clearly a bodybuilder. Therefore, she has genitalia, but her breasts are very small.
Okay,
and there's
let's
a picture.
Let's have a look.
Don't say anything, just look at the picture, Simon.
I'm looking.
Don't name or anything else.
I could know. Hang on. I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry, I can see who that is.
And now I will explain why a certain England centre forward has missed almost half the season out injured. When I hand you this photograph.
My
living God.
My God.
There is no doubt about that. There is not a shred, not a scrap, not a shard of evidence that says that is not...
I only wish everyone, I know we do this
all the time.
Look, how can we hammer this home? Now, here. If we had a website, and I know Dan has one, this has got to go on. It's better than John Hartson being drunk in that car. Sorry, John. But there was a photo of somebody who looked a lot like John Hartson drunk, and we had that photograph. I know these are photos on the radio. The first one...
You mean is that photograph?
Anyway, there's this thing here, and it's the classic, and that makes me feel all gooey, and it shouldn't, but I'm sure it does it to women as well as men. The real heavily developed women bodybuilders.
She's really just
absolutely. She's got her back. It's a black woman. She's got her back to the camera. Now, some people might find that an admirable body. I find it disgusting. But when she turns round, you're going to have to believe me.
Don't show me Jamie unexpectedly. Just show it to him.
Right, Jamie. Right. First, you can see who it is in that one for a start, Jamie, can't you?
Right.
Right. You can see who that is. Now look, I'm sorry, there is no way around. That is Ian Wright.
Ian Wright
is a woman.
He is a girl.
Look, in a thong. Why are those women body? Not just a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Has he burst into thong then? Yeah.
No, but why do those women bodybuilders wear bras? They really, I mean, Jan Molby, myself, Razor Ruddock, John Hartson,
myself,
I never considered, she has nothing there, the woman. And that's a pathetic bit of material across, because you don't want people to see her man's chest. And as for what's happening down below, it's always so scraggy. Anyway, but there's a name, Iris Kyle, and it looks exactly like Ian Wright.
A, why he's not been playing for the last few weeks, and B, Ian Wright always has kit on, so you can't. That may be his real body.
Well, all I'm saying is, if a magazine doesn't get them first, we'll have to put them on an internet. We've got to get an internet site.
Both going.
You would love that. All right,
we're going to be on my internet site soon.
Okay, right. Gavin on 6. So I forgot that. Gavin, thanks for hanging on, Gavin. You would love. We'll photostat these photostats.
We'll make a Xerox of those for you, Gavin. A lithograph.
A photostat those, and we'll try and get them to you.
Plymouth team is this? Plymouth team from last Saturday playing in a 4-4-2 formation, and I'll do it.
These are the individual sponsors. No names.
Here is this afternoon's Argyle 11. At number 1, Steve and Lynn from Basingstoke. At number 2, Graham R. Clark. At number 3, John J. Lewis, accountants. At number 4, Ray's Cards. At number 5, Kerno Accountancy Services.
Ray's Cards? Ray's Cards?
At number 6, the Copier and Fax Company Limited. At number 7, Pasty News.
No, there's not a player for Plymouth sponsored by Pasty News.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't. There must be Pasty News, the magazine for really white people. No.
And at number 8, Rogers of Brixton.
Yeah.
At number 9...
Brixham, surely.
Brixton.
Go as an opening on the market. They got in there, yeah.
At number 9, the Prowse Motor Body Repairs.
Yeah.
At number 10, Streets Ahead Motor Company. And at number 11, Mike Sampson of Media Print Consultants.
This is very good.
That's the team.
If you can ring up now and give us your team...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're being joined here by Joanne. It's line 4, and this will be our friend Joanne, our regular correspondent. I'm always tempted to call the show Two Dannys and a Joanne. Joanne, good evening.
Hi, Danny. Hi, Laurie.
Hello. Joanne remembers everyone's names and everything. Now, Joanne, this morning, of course, you brought us up to speed with the idea that 2 Premier League footballers are now courting your favours, and, you're a laugh, and I'm not suggesting it's all about, the end of the evening. You're obviously good fun to be around anyway. Now, we left it in the position whereby you didn't know, you've been at a game this afternoon, have you?
I have. I've been to the match this afternoon.
Right, that's all we're going to say about that. We don't have any scores, no inference at all. Now, how is the evening shaping up for you? Because now you've got 2 footballers who you've known in every sense, and you're going for a drink, right?
Well, I saw Beau number 2, as you called him this morning.
Beau number 2. This is the one who, hearing the other ones back in on the action, has decided to muscle in on the racket.
Yeah, he sent me some flowers.
Yeah, he sent me some flowers. There you go. He'll be driving his car around the moon next. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Well, I saw him just before the match. And he said, I've only got 5 minutes to spare. And
sweet talker. Yeah.
He gave me £50.
Right.
And told me to buy something fluffy with it.
Something fluffy with it?
Yep.
How about a bottle brush, a baby's bottle brush?
I've got no idea.
Something fluffy?
Yep, and he said, I'll ring you tonight, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I went and watched the match, and then I saw the other one straight after.
Right.
And he said, we gave each other a call, and...
I'll bet they did.
Yeah.
This is a scandal. Walk away from it, girl. Walk away from it. I don't want to come on here like a Ricky Lake, but walk away from the pair. You know what you should do?
What?
Yes, son, this is what you tell them. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do. I've bought a bag of tricks with that 50 quid. I'll meet you under the clock on Shrewsbury Station, something tonight, right? And tell the other one that let them meet each other. Let them meet each other, the pair of them, and you go home.
No, go to the shops and buy yourself something nice.
Yeah.
I bought something fluffy today.
Yeah, you did, but but you didn't have some greasy Premier League player say, buy yourself something nice, girl. And then
I wish I did. They could have bought it for me.
I like them both a lot, Danny. That's the thing. I fancy them both a lot.
But you know me, paternally, I worry about it. For some reason, I've got this thing going now where I begrudge these Herberts who should be doing things like, driving cars around the moon. They're obviously not taking advantage of you. You're a big lady and you're looking after yourself.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea they've rung each other up and said, aye, Joanne.
No, I did think,
yeah, right.
That.
Yeah, I mean, there's another 500,000 listeners listening to this who, are all in line, by the way, girl. Don't keep the same old bums.
He said to me, and I suppose you're going to tell Danny Baker about this.
Did he really?
He did.
He loves it. That's how he heard about it. What am I? I'm his pimp. I'm his pimp. I'm his John. All of a sudden, I'm a John. I'm your John of the airwaves. Look at that. I want at least 30% of your 50 quid to buy myself something fluffy. Man alive. What are you going to do then?
Well, I'm going to wait for him to ring me this evening. He says he's going to ring me about 8 o'clock, and I probably will meet him tonight.
You will? Which one? This is number 1 or number 2?
Number 2. Oh, I believe you have the name.
I'm not going to be coy about this any longer.
Okay.
What are the odds on a 3 in the bed romp?
Pretty good.
Oh, man, Joanne! Oh, look at Jamie's doing the universal male symbol of acclamation. Both fists in the air, sitting back in the chair. You had nothing to do with it. What are you, a broker? I don't know what makes Jamie over there, but...
No, you go, girl.
Oh, thank you.
That's fine. That's all right. But, I think, fortunately, we got rid of a lot of the curiosity seekers and tourists in listenership this morning. This evening, I think it's just the regular listeners of the show.
Yeah.
However, the ones who are now, you see, I must say, the only journalist who rang us during all this brouhaha, some say hubbub this week, and I said, that was, our show, 75 seconds on our show, the is there a tape of Glenn Hoddle thing, and, the teasing and the nonsense about that. So the rest of the show is far more scandalous. I said, we've our correspondent Joanne, and as soon as she said, what's that about? I thought, no, back off, because otherwise, they'll be offering you 60 quid, and you don't want that. Anyway, Joanne, if it does happen, I mean, believe me, you know us, you can trust us to the grave.
Yeah, I know,
if it does happen, make a tape of it.
No, don't make it. No, don't say, this is a woman. No, don't. No, all you do... Unless it's a videotape, in which case, of course, the host of the show will have first dibs, seeing if it's broadcastable. But certainly, Joanne, we appreciate your candour, and Joanne's calls always come out of our old category, which we're quite happy to throw them tonight. Do footballers do it for you?
This combines the two things, a player who was on the books of a club but didn't quite make it, and scouting for young players and all the rest of it. And if you've ever applied to Aldershot Football Club to be a player there, I would advise you to sit down before we go much further. OK, says Dean. Dean from New Aldershot says, I spent my work experience 7 or 8 years ago at Aldershot FC. Now, the highlights of my career there were buying some dodgy sports clothes from Keith Birchin, once of Norwich City, and telling the press through the gap in a window that I knew nothing of Brian Talbot's resignation. So that's how exciting it was at Aldershot. He used to buy some tops from Keith Birchin, and once he got a chance to tell the local press, I know nothing about the resignation.
Through a gap in a window,
of Brian Talbot. My main job, though, was to reply to the young hopefuls' letters requesting a trial. They had put in...
he was a young hopeful himself.
Yes, of course he is, yeah.
Okay.
They had put in loads of effort and wrote long letters to try and explain their qualities as a footballer and a person. The manager or coach never got to see them. I used to send them a letter back to say that their application had been unsuccessful. Every letter was Every letter was exactly the same, with just a space left for me to write their name in.
A form letter.
I also had to answer the...
So this 16-year-old kid is breaking the hearts of 16-year-old kids, or 15, 14-year-olds, yeah?
And here is the... That's bad enough. That's all I wanted to tell you. Yeah. The last paragraph contains an even greater cry. Dean, you're a terror. I used to also have to answer the phone in the office because I'm on the YTS scheme. I once failed to pass on messages from Bobby Saxon of Manchester City regarding the purchase of one of our best players.
The kind of cash injection that would have kept Aldershot afloat. He's a typhoid Mary of the lower leagues, this kid, isn't he?
I failed to pass on the message.
I'm at the phone, and the fella said, I'd like to put an official bid. I'd like to put an official bid of $250,000 on the Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
OK, I'll tell him. Puts the phone in, goes back to reading Beano.
Goes back to right, his tongue stuck out right. Dear Bobby, your application for a trial has been unsuccessful.
Wow. So he's responsible for Bournemouth for Aldershot going out of business. Wow. If anyone out there feels in a small way you may have contributed to the downfall of a club.
And at the other end of the scale, of course, at this time, Manchester City would still have been in the Premier League, the old First Division, and if they'd got that player...
That's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, it's a two club.
No,
it's a two club.
What's that?
This is the back
of
a
contact magazine.
It's a contact magazine.
That's Experience.
Is it?
I think it's a page of Experience. Could be Vibrations. They're the same. They're sister magazines.
Lovely looking folk in here, including a professional footballer.
No!
His wares.
No! Show me. This can't wait. What professional footballer is advertising in a sexual contact magazine?
Page number 49 of what you've described as a contact magazine. All right, now, I'm going to read this verbatim. That is... Right. Genuinely good-looking, horny, 29-year-old professional footballer. 6'3", tall, great body. 6'3" tall. By definition, you're 6'3" you're tall.
Yeah.
6'3" tall, great body, and you have to help with this. VW/E.
Very well endowed.
Thank you very much. Seeking a sexy, adventurous female playmate who'd like to receive prolonged, fantastic... Or just wants to...
for the Swindon home game.
Yeah. Or just want to practice your ball skills, ? Slim to medium build preferable, but... A&L.
No, you don't even want to know. Not on the air. I tell you in the adverts, yeah.
Housewives or couples especially, and at absolute discretion and...
Absolute discretion. He's advertising in any sort of absolute discretion.
Absolute discretion and cleanliness guaranteed by...
Oh, well, cleanliness.
Genuinely good-looking, horny, 29-year-old professional footballer.
Cleanliness usually means we'll bring own flannel and clear up afterwards.
Yes, it is. One with the ring around
Who will that be? Professional footballer.
So 6'3" and he's 29, professional footballer. Alex, who's that?
How about this? My gorgeous young wife has my full permission to meet very well-endowed guys. She used to only have his partial permission.
Yeah.
Now he's just there.
Now she's got certificate.
Now she's got my beautiful young wife.
We're putting that on the website, football365.co.uk.
All right.